All right, so today we're going to be answering the question, how does the shipper and receiver loading and unloading time impact the carrier pricing? And then how would I fix that? So first we're going to look at a few different impacts that shipper and receiver loading and unloading time can have on the carrier pricing. So the first thing is detention costs. So detention costs are charged by the carrier when trucks are held up beyond the allotted time. And so the longer the wait time, that increases the cost. And so then that is having to be made up somehow, which is then passed on to the shipper. So when the shipper takes longer, they're going to have to pay more in detention costs and fees. So another thing is just basically when there are delays, it prevents the carriers from being able to complete additional loads within that same period. And so basically they're sitting at wait times, not making money, not able to do additional loads, which decreases the revenue per truck. And that cost again has to be made up somehow. So if they're taking longer, they're making less loads, so each load is going to naturally have to be more expensive. And so that's another thing. Then also you just have the kind of the market-based adjustments for pricing, whereas like if a shipper or receiver has a reputation for long wait times, carriers might end up charging them a premium for those inefficient wait times because they know they're not going to be as reliable. They may charge them more if they know that at the shipper or receiver it just takes longer. Again, it all comes back to they have to make up their costs somehow. That's always going to get put back on the shippers and receivers, which is an incentive for them to do things quickly and stay on schedule. Another thing is delays at a facility can cause them to miss appointments at the next facility. If they expect that they're only going to be there for an hour and they end up being there for 3 hours, well then they're pushed into the time they're supposed to be at the next place. And that might cause them to get behind, and then the next load gets behind, and it's just kind of like this slippery slope. And so they may have to pay late fees or rescheduling costs or things like that to those shippers or to those receivers. And in that case, then again, they have to make up those expenses somehow. So that's always going to cause them to charge higher rates. And so we're going to look at some ways that you can fix this issue. Some of the things that I've researched and ways that this could be implemented. So the first is drop trailer systems. So some places eliminate wait times by, instead of waiting for your trailer to be unloaded, once you get to a place, you just drop off your trailer and you pick up an empty trailer from that facility, and then you go to your next place. So that eliminates your wait time. The problem with that is there is a shortage of trailers, and it's difficult to have enough where they can just drop it off and then go pick up another one. They may not have any available at that time. And so that is a great idea in hypothetically, but it's something that could be difficult to implement. Another thing is just with the rise of AI, that can be a big help as far as scheduling and making things efficient. As AI and all of that increases, the ability for technology to kind of like create these pathways and scheduling things and working with the hours of service and employees and all of that stuff, I think it will become more efficient when we kind of reduce some of that human error, and that ability to compute those types of things increases. Another thing is just making sure that you have enough staff, and that is difficult because there is kind of a shortage in labor recently, and so finding people to work, especially in the trucking industry, is difficult right now. But making sure that you have people who are there to load and unload, having enough workers, that's an important thing to do. Another thing is you can create incentives for efficiency. So you could say, if you get if you're on time with your loading and unloading process, 5 times in a row, you get this much discount on your next shipment. Providing some incentive to make them want to load and unload efficiently. So those are some ways I think that it could be helped, and we'll see.